Speak to Nation on current political affairs, economic, education, health, gender, agriculture, infrastructure, social culture, and development. Speak to Nation with Poth Johnson Matur Akech every Tuesday and Friday on SSBC.
Hello dear viewers, with us today in the studio is Honorable Minister of Presidential Affairs, Honorable Dr. Barnaba Marial Benjamin, who is going to speak to us on the program called Speak to Nation. Honorable, you are welcome to Speak to Nation. Honorable, you are going to talk to us on your ministry, plans on peace and developmental agenda of the year.
Mr. Poth Matur, thank you very much for inviting me in this program, which is Speaking to the Nation. I think it's a great honor for me to speak on the issues you have raised. Well, as you said, I'm the Minister of Presidential Affairs, appointed by His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardit. I'm nearly 2 years in this position. As you know, I came from very far, since the days of the struggle, from '84 when I officially became a member, to the present date. So it is a great honor for me to be a member of the SPLM, a great party and a great leadership of both Dr. John and now Salva Kiir, of which we have this country. I'm going to speak about today about a single ministry. But remember, I've had a lot of ministries participated in.
Yes.
With the Minister of Presidential Affairs, you know, originally it was, they used to call it Office Minister in the Office of the President. That is not the name of the ministry.
Yes.
Let's correct the name. Many people say Wazir fi Maktab al-Rais. What we have is the Ministry of Presidential Affairs. As a result of the revitalized peace agreement on the resolution of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan.
Yes.
The revitalized agreement has created a lot of government institutions.
Yes.
In it, we have the President at the top, President Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic, and Commander-in-Chief of the SSPDF and all the other organized forces. That is the ministry I'm heading in. Why? It has the President, and below that we have 5 vice presidents. And you know their names, who they are.
Yes.
From the first vice president,
to the
Dr. Riek Machar, to the rest of the other 4 vice presidents in their order. The first vice president, the second, the third, the fourth, and the 5th. This needs restructuring, this type of ministry.
Yes.
Which we are still working on very seriously. It's restructuring to reflect how you have a government institution, a new executive order,
yes,
where you have president with under him 5 vice presidents, and how you relate these presidents to each other, and also to the first vice president and to the president, and how you can relate all of the vice president, how they come in and relate to the minister, who is myself. Because I'm also a minister for them. You should let your vice president know that whether first vice president is the president of IO, SPLM IO, or whether Hussein Abdelbagi belongs to SOAS, or whether Taban Denga and Nyadeng belong to SPLM or whatever, or former detainees originally as it was. I am the president, I'm accountable to all of them. So you need to restructure this, because each vice president has also structures to be recognized and developed You cannot develop them overnight. It takes time.
It takes time, yes.
Yeah. So that is one thing we are working on, to let the structure, the new structure, work. You see, South Sudan is very unique.
Yes.
We created after the CPA what we call one country, two systems. Now the whole world is talking about it, but they don't know that it was the original thought of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. Now we have come with a new idea of one president and five vice presidents, among which there is number one of them. This is another new structure altogether.
Yeah.
So yes, we are working on it, and it entails a lot of plans to be done. We are also having time on our neck. Now, if we give our structures now, and to 2024 elects to 25, we have a new government. It may be also, we may revert back into maybe two or one vice president. So if we make plans now and complete it for vice president, which within months it will not be there, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
So we are alive in terms of the structures, alive to the political situation and the nature of agreement that we have. So it is a continuous effort, and it is working. It's working definitely.
Okay, Honorable Minister, let me cut you short there, and I say it as the ministry, you say, what are you embarking on as the Ministry of Presidential Affairs?
What I'm banking on is how such a ministry, which is a new animal altogether, as I said, how it can relate to these new structures within it as a ministry, and how it relates to the states.
To the states.
Yeah, we have got 10 states and three administrative areas.
Yes.
How do these relate to all those administration in order to bring them all under the President of the Republic? It is a task that we are working on. And that's why we have the Governors Forum. When we have Governors Forum
hosted by your ministry.
Yes, hosted by the Ministry of Presidential Affairs. This is to know the thinking and the programs of what the states and the administrative areas are up to, so that the President and the Presidency, and when we call the word Presidency, it is the President at the top plus his five vice presidents.
And your ministry.
And my ministry, being actually the executive branch of all these people, and how it relates to the legislation, to the parliament, to the council of state, how it relates to the judiciary. So you can see we have a few consultants who are helping us, and we believe that at the end of the day we will come up with a structure which would be like one country, two systems, that may be other countries in turmoil may one day have five vice presidents and say, oh, let us look at what South Sudan did. So we are pioneers in this thing, in a struggle.
And other countries will be referring us back to us and saying, okay, how did you do it? How did you do it?
How did you do it?
Yes.
And strangely enough, have a government of national unity. With how many parties in it? There are a number of them. Of course, people talk about the SPLM, the SPLMIO, the SOAS, the OPP. But within the OPP, there are about 6 parties. Within SOAS, how many parties are there? Many of them. So you are talking of a government constituted by something like more than 18 parties in it.
Honorable, you talk
is that not congratulations for President Salva and the people of South Sudan to have a coalition government of national unity with nearly 18 parties?
Yeah,
do our political leaders ask themselves about that?
No.
That we are doing and especially our partners, they seem not to understand that. You have America, how many parties are there? 2.
Only 2.
The Democrats, the Republicans.
In Kenya, only 2.
In Kenya, they become 2, but they change their parties every year.
Yeah.
So there is no permanent party in Kenya, for example.
Okay.
So that's where we are.
To bring you back, as you mentioned before, that we are preparing and go for election. Is the country ready for elections?
The people are ready for elections. It is not just the country. It is the people of the Republic of South Sudan, because the peace agreement they have signed has got an end game. Like our president used to say, President Salva, what is the end game, gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, what is the end game? The end game is elections. Why do we need elections? Our people must understand this.
Leaders.
Is to choose their leaders. Because the important card, even in traditional societies,
is a mandate given to you.
It's a mandate given to you by the people, because it is the people that you are going to administer. So why can't we have an election? And especially when you have this complicated type of system, where there are too many leaders who want to be the presidents of this country. I was seeing some names in your social media. There are new people who have already come up. I don't want to mention names.
Yes.
I've seen some people saying that they're going to contest.
Proposing themselves
to be the candidates for the presidency in 2020, the end of 2024. So elections is a must, because it will resolve many things. Our people will be in a position to democratically choose their leaders.
Yes.
From the lower down up to the top.
To the top level.
Which is good. If Barnaba Marial in my constituency, if I have not been doing well, then I'm telling them that your time will now come to say, hey, I think they will either vote for me. If they are satisfied, they say, oh, we are happy with our son, then they can vote for me. But there are others who say, no, I think it's high time that we change him. That will be the decision of my people. And that is why elections will even stop those who want power through the barrel of a gun. They will now know that for you to lead the people of South Sudan, you must get their vote.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now, dear viewers, we will be having a short break, and we will come back after that short break.
Speak to Nation on current political affairs, economic, education, health, gender, agriculture, infrastructure, social culture, and development. Speak to Nation with Poth Matur Akech every Tuesday and Friday on SSBC.
Dear viewers, welcome back again to our program Speak to Nation. As we have continued, dear Honorable Minister, you are welcome back again to Speak to Nation. Now, you have been delegated by the government of South Sudan for a peace talk with all-out groups. What are the agendas of that peace talk? And is the peace progressing in Rome? Because the public here around, or the citizens of South Sudan, want to know actually what is happening in Rome.
Thank you very much, Poth. First of all, I would like to appreciate and thank President Salva Kiir Mayardit and his colleagues, from the first Vice President and the other four, Vice President Wani, Vice President Hussein Abdelbagi, Vice President Taban Dengai, and Vice President, of course, Mama Nyandeng, Rebecca Nyandeng, for supporting the decision of the President to delegate me initially to lead peace initiative. That is what we call the Rome Peace Initiative. And I have the honor to do what I can on behalf of the leadership of this country, on behalf of the government, of national unity, on behalf of our parliaments and both the TNLA as well as the Council of State, and on behalf of all the people of South Sudan, irrespective of their political parties.
Yes.
So I would like our people to know that the delegation which was appointed represents all the political parties in government. So my delegation is a delegation that reflects the national unity government, the RT Gono, as we call it. And it has a clear mandate to bring what we call non-signatories
to the agreement,
into the peace process. What is non-signatories? These are people who have not signed the revitalized peace agreement on the resolution of the conflict in South Sudan. And who are they? We all know them.
Yes.
We can say them by name. We have NAS, for example, led by Thomas Cirillo. We have got the other group, the real SPLM, as they call it, led by Pagana Moom. Dr. Chirino and many others. We have got also Paul Malone with his party, and there are many others more. We have Emmanuel Ajawin. He is what he called the National Democratic Movement, Patriotic Front. So we have these parties. They were not a part of the revitalized transition peace agreement. Now, when Pope Francis invited all our political leaders in 2019 to Rome for a retreat, and you know what he did. He was able to receive them. Not only himself alone, it was not Pope Francis alone. We had, of course, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Dr. Justin Wellerby. You had also the moderator of the Presbyterian, of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church of Scotland, Mr. Reverend Ian Greenshields. And that alone, our people should know what it means.
To the people of South Sudan.
For these three people, we know Pope Francis is the leader of the Catholic Church throughout the whole world. We know that Justin Wellerby, the most Reverend, Right Honorable Justin Wellerby, is the head of the Anglican Church. And we have Most Right Reverend Ian Greenshields as the head of the Presbyterian Church. You know, originally we were all Catholic Church.
Yes.
But the church fought among itself and some broke away. Now, after 600 years, because of South Sudan,
they become one.
These three now had to come together and sit on one altar. Pope in the middle, Justin Wellerby on the right, and the Presbyterian on the left, praying for the people of South Sudan to have peace. First, we must congratulate ourselves as South Sudanese that God loves us, because if we can bring the Christian family throughout the whole world together again and sit and try to see what can we do about South Sudan, we should keep to it also. We should reflect that responsibility.
And show that solidarity also.
This thing must be known by our people. And for them also to know, they have the first peace, ecumenical peace, pastoral visit in the history of the church. The three getting together to come to South Sudan. And you have seen what they have done.
Yes.
So that one, and in that retreat, Pope Francis had to kneel down and kiss their feet. All their feet. Some of them broke down. I don't want to name their names. But they were really embarrassed, kissing their feet. And I always say, even we who go to church every Sunday, you know, and we read the Bible, they say what Jesus did, he washed the feet of the disciples with what? But he did not kiss their feet. But here is this human being, so humble. Not his problem. Our own problem, we as South Sudanese, and our political leaders, and you know politics, what it is.
Yes.
They are not, people are not that holy, you know. You lie a bit, you do this and that. So he kissed their feet because he loves the people of South Sudan, and he followed up with his visit. That kicked off the Rome Peace Initiative.
Initiatives, yes.
They asked San Egidio. San Egidio is a Catholic organization which is representing nearly 75 countries in the world. And they have been engaging in making peace throughout the world. They did that in Mozambique, Renamo, with Frelimo. They did it in Angola. They did that in Liberia. They tried it in Sierra Leone. They did that in Europe, in Bosnia, even in Latin America, in Nicaragua, in Asia, in Philippines.
And they have been successful.
And they have been successful. Nearly 18 peace processes across the world. That's why Pope Francis thought San Egidio would be the right vehicle that can mediate, to bring the whole out groups
to the peace agreement.
To peace agreement. And the whole out group now, they have changed their name again. We call them non-signatories. Why is it from
whole out?
No, they started as opposition groups. SOMA, South Sudan Opposition Movement Alliance, SOMA. From SOMA to whole-out groups, and now to the non-signatories. Because there are other political parties, movements, which are also fighting against the government, you see, who were not there. So it will give them a chance to join the process. So I think it is very important for us to know what is this. It is the same animal with the three names, you see. So the peace process has gone well since we started in 2020. We signed Rome Declaration,
yes.
Rome Resolution. These are agreements.
How many addendum have you signed so far?
Oh, we have started, of course, with the Rome Declaration, which committed us that the problem
committed all the parties.
The only problem can be solved
with the government of
national unity. That peace process can be done through peaceful dialogue.
Yes.
And there is the cessation of hostilities, which was signed in 2017. It was also recommitment. We signed another one for the recommitment to cessation of hostilities, signed in December 23rd in 2017. They recommitted. We have the Declaration of Principles. Now, what happened with the whole-out groups or non-signatories? They divided. Thomas Cirillo, General Thomas Cirillo, went with his group, and we have Pagana Mum and Paul Malone on the other side. And Thomas with Jawin and other groups together. Then there was the Declaration of Principles with 13 points on it, which we discussed with Thomas' group. We agreed on 10 points there, and there were 3 points that we put aside that we will resolve when we next meet. With the Paul Malone group and Pagana Mum, of all the Declaration of Principles, the points which were there, we agreed on them. And we signed with them saying that the next meeting will be to bring a final peace process. Now, so when we last went, it was for us to go and begin with where we have stopped.
You have stopped.
They had reunited. We said, that's great for us, no problem. So we said, now we begin from where we stopped last time. So let us harmonize the two Declaration of Principles. The one we signed with Pagan and Malone, and the one which we had not finished with Thomas Cirillo and Emmanuel Ajawin, put it together so that we harmonize it, we agree on it finally, and then we move to the final peace process. But what did we find? The new United Non-Signatories group came with an idea that they want a roundtable conference. And this actually took us by surprise, because we had thought that we are moving in the right direction, which I believe we have done.
Yes.
You are talking about nearly 2 years of negotiations. Where on earth? Is it another CPA, or what the hell is going on? So we had scored a lot of success. And His Holiness the Pope, the forces behind, together with the Archbishop, who were the people behind this thing to go on, were very encouraged. And by the way, yes, no, not round the table, for the Rome Peace Initiative.
Rome Initiative.
Yeah. What we said is what they called round table conference. We said, where is this animal coming from? What we know, round table conference, you are talking of like something like national dialogue. We told them national dialogue, we did it in the Republic of South Sudan. It took us 2 years. We brought in over 1,000 people from the grassroots to the top. The women, the youth group, the chiefs, the religious leaders, the civil society organizations, different political parties, the elders, the intellectuals. Now, are you telling us we are going to put 1,000 on the plane to bring them to Rome to start? It's just impossible. And again,
it will not happen.
It will not happen. We definitely said this cannot be. This is a new thing, and we are not prepared for a new dialogue. If you want a national, you come in and you can go and call that. There is constitutional process.
And I think it will not be a dialogue again. It will be a people-to-people talk.
It is a people-to-people talk, and the people are inside the boundaries of the Republic of South Sudan. As for refugees, in any struggle there are always refugees. And when we signed the CPA, there were refugees, but we didn't stop signing the comprehensive peace agreement.
But they came back.
So my message to the people of the Republic, South Sudan, we are moving well. on the peace process. We have agreed to meet sometimes in May, towards the end of May. There will be the next round of peace talks in Rome. And the San Egidio came and said, okay, you people go back and consult with your leaders, and then each one of us will write the agenda we think is the right agenda and send it to San Egidio. The non-signatories will also send what they think is the agenda. San Egidio themselves will also make their own agenda. Then they will see how much they harmonize the agenda, send it back to us. It is for us to see it. If it is okay, we will say okay. If we have something we don't believe, we say no, change this. They also, the non-signatories, will have a chance to look at it and see if they have any suggestion, till we agree on the agenda before we meet in the month of May.
Okay, thank you, Honorable. Now let's come back to the development agendas as we talk about the development program in your office. His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardit recently talked about the government policies that concern pre-education, health services, road network, and as we speak, some of them have started. The road is going very well. And other things like other developmental projects are going very well. Now, the question is about the implementation, like pre-education. Is your government, the concerned ministry, like Ministry of Presidential Affairs, going to implement it for free education for children to learn freely in every school, from primary to senior school?
Yes, the president makes national pronouncements. Policies they believe is what the people need. And one of the things our president has been saying, and I'm sure with the support of both our legislators as well as even our whole executive, that education must be free, because we need educated people in this country. You know, we have our children will have to find schools to go to. There are a lot of financial difficulties for the families. The salaries that our people get is not enough really to shoulder other requirements, like you want to buy uniform for the children, to transport them to school, you know, to provide the basics for them, and they will need books. And so it is quite expensive. If you see the living allowance, which is meant to be a salary, it is not enough. Therefore, the government can also not afford to have their children not educated, although our financial situation is very difficult. But still, we need to educate our children. That's why he said free education, and we all support it. From primary upwards to secondary school, up to university, we need that. Because this country needs to educate its youth. I remember President Mugabe used to talk about why he has done free education in Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe, yes.
Yeah, he used to say, you see, he was asked, if you educate all these people, where will they get jobs? Where will they work? He said, you know, it is better to have an employed, educated person than an employed, ignorant person, not educated. Because if you are educated, a university graduate working in the street, he can use his education as a source of life.
To create jobs.
To create jobs. They can do that. You can use it as your manpower to trade skills for other countries. They can apply to other countries. They can apply to other organizations, for example. So an educated person has a maneuver. Yes. But if he is not educated, he will be helpless. He cannot help himself. But we in South Sudan must be very lucky, by the way, because we have our land. That's why we need peace. Once we have peace, we have a land with a lot of resources, whether it is agriculture, whether it is mining. So I think education, we should not worry of where they will work. I'm sure when peace takes hold, we will be able to develop our resources, and then this will create more jobs by inviting a lot of investment to come into the country, whether in agriculture, whether in livestock, whether in wildlife, whether in infrastructure, in road building, also. All this. So peace is the joker card. So all our people, we must all work for peace. Not only our president, he's telling us every day, I will never take back this country back to war.
Yes.
Whether he's here in 10 years or in what years, or whether he's alive, unless he's not alive. But as long as he's alive and here, whatever capacity he's in, he will see that there should be no, as an elder, who knows, yeah, we need peace. So let us bring peace. So education is important. He has talked about health. It's a policy that we need to encourage. We in the Ministry of Presidential Affairs, what is our job in this? We monitor what the president says.
Yes.
Becomes our policy. We will relate to the Minister of Education to see what she is doing now. We're doing very well. We're monitoring it, and the minister will also come back and seek our help so that she can meet the president and brief the president how far she has gone in the new, or he, whatever is the minister, how far it has gone in the free education. The same thing with the roads building. The Minister of Roads will have to do the briefing. They come through my office. I make sure that they meet the president.
And
the one of electricity.
And their work have to go on.
And my work goes on. But we also monitor all these things. So when the president, like he was working with you out there somewhere in Kwajuk, we had to pay attention. What did he say in Kwajuk? Because we don't want what is said by our president not to be implemented. If it is not implemented, it will be my mistake. I will be the culprit. I will be. People will come to me. They will not get the president. The person they are sure to find is Barnaba Marial. There he is. He will come. He'll come. But president said last time we won the school. I said no. Okay, we will check why the school has not happened. So whatever the president of a republic pronounces become automatically as a policy. The Council of Ministers will sit, the relevant minister will present it, and the council will debate on it if they think this is feasible, and then they pass it, and it becomes a policy. So you can see my job, it is a multi-pronged approach. It is on all roads like that.
Yes, on all roads.
That's why sometimes they say, no. I get the blame sometimes, rightly so, but sometimes unfairly.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. As you said, is a policy, whatever the President said is a policy, and is what you implemented in your ministry. This connectivity of road, do you think that it will finish before 2024?
We will have finished a good number of them. What are these roads, if you have seen now? At least not in terms of tarmacking, but we can finish most of them as gravel roads. You know, when General Charles William Gordon, in 1865,
yes,
when he came and became the first governor of the Republic of, by then the three provinces of Equatoria, Upper Nile, and Barra. He came here to Gondokoro. You know that small island?
That's the island.
Yeah, and he sat under a tree, and he had only a four-corner table. That was the beginning of the state of South Sudan, to administer all these three areas.
Yes, very nice.
People did not tell him, okay, don't go ahead, because it is not even existing, isn't it?
Yes.
But he started. Juba today, as we see it, it was not a decision of the Bari or the Nuer or the Dinka or the Zande or everything. It's the colonial authority that came and thought that Juba would be the right place so that these great ethnic groups can be administered and civilization brought in, so that one day we become a nation.
A nation, yes.
That's how we are in Juba. So I'm sure the people of South Sudan must be proud of that, because that is the nucleus of their country. They want to create a country. Yes, we have a few problems of tribalism. In any society, you get tribalists. It's a very nasty thing. I don't know how others really live like tribalists, you know, because there is no country in the whole world with a single tribe.
No.
Show me one, you won't get it. Even if you go to United Kingdom,
you will not find it.
There is Irish, there is Scottish, are you with me?
Another tribe.
Yeah, and there is English, there are Welsh, there are Pope. But what do you hear? United Kingdom.
Only United Kingdom.
They are all. Where is their capital? It's in London.
London.
The heart of English people. So you go where? You go to Nairobi.
Yes.
Nairobi is the land of the Maasai. Are they the ones who are only there?
No, they are not.
No. You go to Lagos. Now it is in Abuja. Is it a land of Hausa who are absolutely in the north?
No.
You go to Khartoum when we were one.
Same thing.
Was it not our capital? All of us used to go to Khartoum.
We were calling
I'm hearing some South Sudanese are beginning to give an impression as if Juba is not it's the capital for all of us. Let us build our nation.
Yes.
Because that's how the colonial administration has been. You go to South Africa, you have got Pretoria.
The same thing.
You see? It is not where President Mandela comes from as a coast.
As we are coming closer to the program, to the end of our program, we want you, Honorable, which message do you want to tell the people of South Sudan as they are listening now to your talk?
Thank you very much. My message is simple. Let us support our leadership, President Salva Kiir Mayardit, and all those vice presidents, the government, the legislatures, to support a full implementation of the peace process. It's not the duty of only His Excellency President Salva Kiir or First Vice President Dr. Riek or Madame Rebecca Nyadeng. It's for all of us. Let us encourage these leaders we have to know that it is what we want as a people. We want peace in this country. We want to build our country, and we all work together, shoulder to shoulder, as one people, one nation. It's very, very important. Forget about being a tribalist. You see, Rwanda tried it. Rwanda now abandoned it. In Rwanda, if you call yourself Tutsi, you go to jail. There is nothing. You are a Rwandan. So let us all be South Sudanese. Encourage our leader to bring peace in the Republic of South Sudan, and development will start effectively, and everybody will be quiet and happy in this wonderful Garden of Eden.
Thank you very much. Dear viewers, at this juncture, we have come to the end of our program, and dear Honorable Minister, we thank you.
Thank you very much.
Speak to Nation on current political affairs, economic, education, health, gender, agriculture, infrastructure, social culture and development. Speak to Nation with Poth Johnson Matur Akech every Tuesday and Friday on SSBC.